under this vast expanse of sky, an ominous giant celestial body is hurtling toward Earth, with New York City as its target. This is not a scene from a science fiction blockbuster movie, but a terrifying reality that could completely wipe out human history.
Sky is falling down. No more light to see.
In just a few days, an asteroid larger and more destructive than anything we have ever encountered, the city considered the heart of America is about to collide with New York. And the streets that never sleep here are going to witness this cosmic disaster. Scientists are scrambling, politicians are strategizing, and every New Yorker is holding their breath. The countdown has already begun, and we are discussing the extraordinary efforts made to avert this catastrophe and the possible consequences. There's just one question in everyone's mind. Is this going to be the most dangerous time for our Earth? And will this evening have a morning? Stay tuned as we explore the mysterious and terrifying sight of an asteroid headed toward New York City. Get ready for a journey that will keep you on the edge of your seat in our documentary. The Unknown Asteroid Strike.
This entire story is fictitious, and no asteroid is heading toward New York tonight. And this show is based on the simulation of such an event. We are preparing such a simulation asteroid so that we can prepare ourselves in case of a bad situation.
वो वही है, वो कॉमेट, वो दिख रहा है अभी, देखो, वो दिख रहा है, देखो.
These deserted streets of New York are waiting for some big disaster today. Because in a few moments, a giant asteroid will enter the atmosphere of this city. And when it hits the surface, there will be devastation everywhere.
As it enters its atmosphere, we will see something even brighter, like the sun. Its speed will be 20 km per second, which will be 18 times faster than the speed of a bullet coming out of a rifle. This asteroid is moving towards America's most populated city. And with the collision, it will deliver more energy than 1,000 Hiroshima nuclear bombs. In just a few seconds, the world will be filled with some of the most expensive buildings. And a big pit will be formed in the Central Park area. I am scared just thinking about it. It must be really scary.
But today this disaster is looming over New York City, and the people of the Earth are preparing to fight it. Actually, this whole incident started about 7 years ago in Arizona, when astronomer Greg Leonard confirmed through Catalina Sky Survey that this asteroid was coming towards the Earth.
We keep an eye on the sky to protect the Earth. And we are the first line of defense against any asteroid coming towards the Earth. And I would like to emphasize the word planetary defense. This doesn't benefit just one country, it benefits the whole world and the whole planet.
And as soon as it was confirmed that this asteroid was heading towards Earth, so then the turn on several protocols regarding this was also going to come soon, in which first of all an expert team was to be formed as a protocol, which collects all the information related to asteroid.
We are seeing point tracks of stars being located at one place, and this one is going really fast across the sky. So this means that this asteroid can come close to the Earth, but we haven't been able to find out its distance yet. But from its motion, it can be estimated that it is very close to the Earth.
The first task of this team was to find out the orbit of that asteroid, and it had to be ensured that its orbit was not going to cross the orbit of our Earth, because if that was the case, then it could have been a matter of great concern. The team of scientists observed this asteroid for full 4 months, and finally from this observation, it was revealed that after next 7 years, its orbit will cross our Earth, and it will have a massive collision with the Earth. For the first time, astronomers called it a PEP.
This asteroid appears to be very close to Earth, but we haven't been able to find out its distance yet. But from its motion, it can be estimated that it is very close to the Earth.
बाहर अपने गार्डन में जाइए, अपनी छतों पर जाइए, सड़क पे जा सकते हैं और ऊपर आसमान में देखिए।
एक तारा जो थोड़ा धुंधला सा है और उसके पीछे एक लंबी लाइन बन रही है, वो कॉमेट की पूंछ है।
ये सच है, वो आ रहा है। कोई आपको कुछ और बताएगा तो वो झूठ है। बताएगा जस्ट लुक अप इनटू द स्काई।
That means the time of destruction on Earth was only 7 years away. But how much destruction could this body cause? To know the damage it can cause, it was important to know its physical shape and size. And in January 2023, scientists discovered this. The width of this asteroid was 1,800 feet, and the length was equal to 5 football fields.
We used some of the world's best scientists, some of the best telescopes, and some of the best supercomputers to protect the world. International differences forgotten, so that the existence of mankind can be saved.
And on this basis, scientists got hold of the footage of the computer simulation of the collision of this asteroid with the Earth. So he was left dumbfounded. Such a terrible devastation would hardly have occurred on Earth in the last 4 or 5 centuries. But to create the simulation, information about the components and speed of this asteroid was also needed. Among the different types of asteroids, metal asteroids are considered to be the most destructive. The good news was that a PEP was not a metal asteroid.
A metal asteroid can be up to 5 times denser than a low-density asteroid. So despite being in the same orbit and being at the same speed, it can cause more damage after the collision. And the biggest example of this is the Barringer crater located in Arizona, whose width is approximately 1.5 kilometers. If a PEP had been a metal asteroid, it would have come tearing through the Earth's atmosphere like a cosmic bullet. And by suddenly falling on a city, it would kill a large number of people. The comforting thing is that these asteroids are dangerous, but are also very rare.
And when the team of scientists kept a constant eye on it, they found out its true nature. A PEP was a C-type rocky chondrite asteroid, which is much less in density than a metallic asteroid.
If a large C-type asteroid enters the Earth's atmosphere, so there is a possibility that it reaches the surface. And it is not necessary that it gets burnt to ashes in the atmosphere itself.
But one more piece of information was yet to be obtained to know the ill effects of its collision with the Earth. Kinetic energy. This was the component that could be combined to estimate the damage caused by the asteroid's collision with Earth. And finally, scientists calculated that a PEP weighs 123 million tons and is headed toward Earth at a speed of 40,000 miles per hour. How much energy will its collision share with the Earth? And the results were shocking.
So what will be its energy? The width of the asteroid is 1,800 feet. Its weight is 11 crore 20 lakh tons. And it is coming at a speed of 64,000 kilometers per hour. So the energy in this will be approximately 10 to 19 joules.
Not just the US, but the entire Earth was going to be affected by this terrible collision.
This will have an impact on the whole world, and we have to face the devastation it causes. And the impact of such a catastrophe will be felt for 1,000 years.
And now we had only one option. Somehow this disaster must be prevented from happening and destroy a PEP before it reaches Earth.
This happened for the first time in human history when we were able to prevent a natural disaster. We can form a response team and make a plan so that we do not lose our existence. We cannot close any earthquake fault by sticking it on someone. Neither can we close the mouth of any volcano. But we can definitely make a plan to prevent an asteroid from colliding with us or to avoid it. An asteroid 1,800 feet wide was heading towards our Earth.
But destroying this asteroid could have proved more dangerous for the Earth, as its debris rains down on the ground like a fireball, and so scientists made a plan to change the path of this asteroid.
And it was very important for us to give it a different direction.
But how could this happen? After a lot of brainstorming, scientists found a clue about this in the asteroid belt itself. Sometimes the pieces moving in space would change the path of the asteroid. In such a situation, scientists also speculated that a massive collision could change the path of a PEP as well.
We could deflect a PEP and change its direction so that it would avoid hitting the Earth.
But doing this was not as easy as the scenes shown in the movies. But since a PEP had already been detected 7 years ago, so scientists got enough time to create an asteroid deflector, and its name was Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART. For its testing, it was also sent to an asteroid Didymos in the year 2021, which was not going to cause any harm to the Earth. But the DART testing could have been completed by colliding with it. November 2025. By launching the DAF mission, we deflected the orbit of a PEP.
When you succeed in building such a spacecraft, which hits an asteroid millions of kilometers away from Earth with precision, so nothing can possibly be better than this. It is like trying to hit a bullet with a bullet from the other side. For us, this was not only the last, but also the only chance.
November 2028. After traveling for almost 3 years in space, DAF has finally reached a PEP.
What happened? Were we able to change the direction of the asteroid?
DAF's kinetic impactor collided with a PEP at a speed of 14,400 miles per hour, and this collision was recorded by radars and telescopes present on Earth.
At first glance, it seemed as if this mission was successful, and we removed a PEP from the Earth.
But there was still a twist left in the picture. Even though scientists had dispelled a PEP, but in this collision, a 300 feet big piece of it broke off and started moving towards the Earth, and scientists named it a PEP 2.0.
A piece of rock that is 300 feet wide is also quite large. And now it was important for us to know whether it would collide with the Earth. If yes, then from which part of the Earth?
We got the answer to this in March 2029. It was ready to hit the east coast of America 8 months from today, and New York City was second in the list of worst hit cities in the world.
So a 300 feet asteroid was now heading toward New York City. And this was a very dangerous situation.
The scientists had very little time, and they had to somehow find a way to destroy this giant asteroid the size of a football field that was heading toward Earth. Then the idea of nuclear attack came to his mind. Actually, this has been shown in many Hollywood movies. But alas, this was not a film but a real-life incident, and here using a nuclear weapon was not going to be so easy.
Even if we destroy it with a nuclear weapon, it will avert a major problem. but many small problems will arise due to it being radioactive. We wanted the world's 99 most powerful nuclear weapons, which needed to be launched simultaneously. And they should have collided together as well, which was due to our technical capabilities.
But the use of nuclear weapons was a very controversial step.
Nuclear weapons are one of the most powerful devices that we humans have invented. And this is very dangerous. This is the most dangerous tool in our toolbox. It's like a powerful hammer in your toolbox. But there are many concerns associated with it too. International treaty did not allow them to test in space.
And so now New York City had only one option: Earth's atmosphere. In fact, a similar asteroid entered the Earth's atmosphere in Chelyabinsk, Russia in 2013. It was 60 feet wide and was going to hit Chelyabinsk, and the Earth's atmosphere turned it into an explosion in the sky on its own.
It did not reach Earth, and the people of Chelyabinsk were lucky that it did not collide with the Earth. You might take the Earth's atmosphere lightly. You might think that it is just air, and what effect will it have on an asteroid? But it is not like that. The molecules present in these winds exert pressure on the front part of the asteroid. Its speed decreases, and also it starts heating up due to friction. And because of this heat, it finally explodes, which also happened with the Chelyabinsk asteroid.
The shockwave from this explosion was so dangerous that it destroyed 7,000 buildings there, and approximately 1,500 people were injured in this. But these results were much better than the devastating consequences caused by its direct collision. But APEP 2.0 was 5 times more massive than the Chelyabinsk asteroid, and it takes only 10 seconds to cross the atmosphere. And so to understand its possible impact, scientists again prepared a separate simulation on it.
As it enters the Earth, some hot air may enter through its cracks. We'd see a smoldering rock similar to this one passing through our atmosphere. It will contain pieces of debris that will vaporize and separate from it. And you will see many flashes of light shining from a syrup, as if someone had lit firecrackers in the sky.
And the simulation showed that even though some parts of it might break down, but a large part of it will collide with the surface of the Earth. And this was very risky. October 2029, 3 weeks before the collision. Now the people of New York had only one option: clearing out this whole place, and to go to a place where it won't have any ill effects on them.
Now we had to make a foolproof plan to evacuate people from here. It was a state of emergency situation for the entire New York. And it was time for them to leave the city to save their lives.
Scientists created projections to estimate how many kilometers of New York would be affected by this.
Here is an ellipse which we call the hazard ellipse. And the asteroid will hit somewhere in this area. Apart from this, its danger can be considered to some extent in the surrounding areas also.
And then the biggest evacuation of this entire century began.
Millions of people had to migrate. This experience was very scary for him.
There was an outcry everywhere about this. Within just a few days, about 2 crore 30 lakh people migrated from New York and all the areas around it. And now it was the turn of showtime.
This will create a crater 1.5 kilometers wide. And this will be so dangerous that the entire subway will reach from inside to outside to the ring of the crater. Apart from this, an earthquake of magnitude 5 will occur even far away from this place. And the winds will blow at a speed of 640 kilometers per hour. During such a shockwave, even a small thing like a pencil can become a deadly weapon.
The whole city will be set on fire.
So this incident will not prove to be good from any point of view. The situation will go from bad to worse.
But there was also a possibility here. What will happen if APP 2.0 hits the Sea of New York? This can be answered by studying the KPG impact.
A global impact occurred on Earth 66 million years ago, when a 10-kilometer wide rock hit the Yucatan Peninsula in the Gulf of Mexico. This raised a terrible uproar, and this destroyed the ozone layer present on the Earth. This changed the world of dinosaurs in the blink of an eye. All this debris first leapt into the air and then started falling on the Earth in the form of fireballs and ashes. And approximately 70% of life forms in the world were extinct. That means a 10-kilometer rock ended life on Earth.
But luckily for us, APEP 2.0 is about 100 times smaller than the dinosaur-era rock. But one bad news is still with us, that it is going to hit New York City. Simulations have presented two consequences of a collision with the ocean to the world.
If a large asteroid hits the ocean, then less than 1% of its energy will be converted into waves. And hence it will not be very strong and will calm down by the time it reaches the shore. If it hits the continental shell, then a tsunami can definitely occur here. But this will just be the beginning. If this rock hits water, the energy from the impactor will produce a lot of steam, and all the water will vaporize. After this, when this water goes up and accumulates, water is a good greenhouse gas. The water going into the atmosphere will produce heat, and the ash and dust will produce coolness. But after this, it will start getting extremely cold here, and the cold era will begin once again on Earth.
But this will just be the beginning for November 2029. Finally, that doomsday has arrived. And APP 2.0 has reached Earth. It penetrates our atmosphere and enters inside, and in a short while it passes over Manhattan. It then crosses Brooklyn, and with this it crosses Coney Island and moves on. After going about 550 meters from the coast, it collided with the deep sea. That means it did not collide with New York, and it missed all the cities too. But how?
The orbit of an asteroid, the orbit of the Earth, and the way the Earth rotates in the Great Cosmic Ballet. The difference that occurs a few seconds before or after that. This is what decides whether the rock hits the ocean or the land.
The Earth revolves around itself at a speed of 1,600 kilometers per hour, and its speed around the Sun is 104,000 kilometers per hour. But APEP 2.0 was slower than this. And this is the reason why it did not hit the ground but fell into the ocean, where it broke into pieces, and the waves arising from this also subsided in a short while. And thus New York was saved from a major disaster. The credit for which goes to the scientists and their team, whose mission diverted APEP, and due to this the speed of APEP 2.0 became much lower than its parent asteroid.
Thankfully, this was a fictional incident, but this was based on our actual information about the asteroid. Asteroid research can be called an insurance policy for us, and we hope that we never actually need to do such an exercise. The most important thing in the case of planetary defense is to detect them at the right time. And if it is found out early, it can be stopped, or the damage caused by it can be reduced. If we talk about larger asteroids, so the number of such rocks will be around 940, which means that we have discovered 96% of such asteroids. So we have done quite well in the case of large asteroids. NEO Surveyor has an infrared camera, which is successful in finding such asteroids in any conditions.
But some asteroids are so small that it is extremely difficult to study them. And for this, scientists are now using NEO surveillance.
Through this, scientists can instantly detect any asteroid. In my opinion, asteroid strike is at the top of the list of dangers facing Earth.
With the advancement of technology, we are now more secure. But still we need to keep a constant eye on the threat of asteroid.
I am often asked this question, what is the probability of this happening? And they don't like my answer. Because I always tell them 100%. It takes time. It takes weeks, months, or sometimes even years. But only through such studies we are able to find out how we can prevent its collision. There are many natural disasters about which we cannot do anything, like earthquakes, floods, tsunamis. But this thing is the most dangerous among all these. And we can stop it. For this reason, we have to keep an eye on such rocks too. And in the sky too.
People freeze with eyes so wide. Asteroid lighting up the dark, terrified by its fiery spark. Crowds gather just to stare. Whispers of a fire